Hello little cuties and welcome to my channel, Fixin to Hillbilly. Today we're going to be making my first Christmas wreath of the season. Now you might be wondering why I'm starting so early making my Christmas projects, but I have a lot of Christmas projects to make and a lot of requests from customers for Christmas wreaths. Plus I do a lot of decorating myself for Christmas and we'll be going over that too. Now, we're going to be starting with a pine wreath. Now, this I got from Hobby Lobby. The tag said $9.99, but I actually bought it at the end of the season, and I got it a lot less expensive than that. I think it was about 70% off, I think, if I remember right. Now, I chose 2 ribbons. Both of these also come from Hobby Lobby. And I also got those end of season. And they were normally, I think, $9.99 a roll. Also got those for 70% off. It's a lot cheaper if you can buy some things end of season. And then I just store them in a tote until the next year. So what I did is I took these 2 ribbons and put them together. And then I'm just going to pinch them. Now, you don't need zip ties. You don't need pipe cleaners for this, because you're literally just going to be attaching it to the frame itself. Now, I did cut these ribbons a little long. I had never really done one of these before. So, because normally I do the deco mesh is my thing. That's what I like to do. And I will be doing several of those this season. But I cut those 12 inches. I thought that was just a little much. I think you should cut them maybe 10 inches. And if it still looks a little much, go back and trim them up. That's what I end up doing at the end of this project, because those one ribbons were just a little bit too long. Now, I did cut these ribbons. I cut 5 of each design, because I'm going to do 2 to each side and then 1 at the top, because I'm going to have a big bow going at the bottom. And then once you just twist them in there, you can just arrange your ribbons, you know, the way you like. As you can see, those one ribbons are just a little bit long for this wreath. That's why I went back and trimmed them up. So you just put the 2 ribbons together, and then you're going to fold them over. Then pinch them in the middle. And then just tie it in there. This was a little different because you didn't have to use the pipe cleaners. So it was already there. I didn't really have a lot of Christmas stuff left from last year, which I will be going shopping for that, Christmas crafting supplies. But I just used what I had. I wish I would have had a little bit more for this wreath. I did have some little peppermints that I went and just kind of added because they fit with the theme of the ribbon. But I do wish I had some, you know, like some tinsel kind of stuff to put in there. Maybe some silver, because the ribbon edges are silver. So if I do decide to add something else to it, I will go back and add that probably before I sell it. That's just some ideas. And if y'all have any ideas, you know, different things that you can do to this, just let me know in the comments, because I would appreciate the feedback. Because you know, like I said, I've never really done one of these before. So I was kind of like, okay, is that full enough? Is it not full enough? And when I completed it, I really didn't think it was like full enough. It needed something else. I just couldn't figure out what. Okay, so now I have all 5 of those placed in there. And I actually went and moved that up just a little bit so everything is going to be centered. Because the bow that I'm making is pretty big at the bottom. It's going to have 6-inch hoops on each side. And I really like this wired ribbon though, because it does lay the way that you want it to. Another way to get it to stay is I just went and put a little bit of hot glue on the back of the ribbon and then just attached it to the wreath form. That helped it hold a little bit better. And please excuse my voice today. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel horrible. I just feel really stopped up. And I think because it's gotten so cold here in West Virginia, it's just been freezing for me. It's been like 40 some degrees so at night. So definitely the weather is changing. Now I went and got these Christmas bulbs at Walmart, because as you know, Walmart's already got their Christmas stuff out, but they've also still got a lot of fall stuff. And I did record some of that yesterday when I was in there, and I will be posting that as well, so you can see the fall stuff that they still have. So right now they've got both, which is good, especially for crafters, because a lot of times, you know, if you're late getting your fall stuff, they bring out all the Christmas stuff, and then, you know, then you can't do anything for fall. And these were just a pack of bulbs. I don't know how many were in there. I think there were like 40 in there for, I don't know, maybe $10 and something. Wasn't a lot. But it's really good, going to be really good for some projects that I've got planned. But I also like the fancier bulbs, so I will be doing some of those as well. And like I said, I do got to get some more ribbon, because this is last year's ribbon, and I really didn't have a lot left. I just bought a few things and put in a tote. And so what I did is I did 3 of one bulb and then 2 of the other, because remember, there's only 5 places on there. And then at the bottom, inside the bow, the actual bow, we're going to be doing 2. One of each color. And like I said, if you do it and you think it needs more, just put more in it. Now I did get some, I got me an extension cord finally, so you can see what I'm doing with the hot glue gun. And then I'm just putting those right down in the middle of that bow. And I took one of those pine leaves and covered the end so you couldn't see it. Like I said, I've never done one of these before. But it was pretty simple and it went pretty fast. Okay, now I'm going to move that out of the way. And as you see, you know, everything's centered. So my bow's going to go right down there at the bottom in the middle. Now, I didn't use my Easy Bow Maker today, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to show you that you can make a bow fairly easy without having a bow maker. You don't really need one of those. I just started, I did mine about 12 inches. Because I'm going to pull it in the middle, and that's going to make it about 6 inches. So I went out about 12 inches and then just folded it over a couple times. Now I think I did 2 loops on each side. And then I just cut that off because I'm going to do the tails separately. So if you're doing 2 loops on each side, when you count, it should be 4 pieces. And then just cut that off. Like I said, I'm going to do the tails separate. So you're not going to have to worry about, you know, making a tail here. And as you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there's 5 pieces because you got that first piece. You can pull that down and use it as a tail. Or you can just punch it back up in there, which is what I did. Okay. And then I used the other ribbon. And I was going to use one more different kind of ribbon, but the red really didn't match this particular red in here. It was a little bit more burgundy, so I didn't go with that. Now this one I only went out about 4 inches. And then I'm going to put both of those together. And here's my tails, because I'm going to go ahead and put those on there. So just pull out a piece that's going to be big enough for 2 tails. And the same with the other. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dovetail those ends. Because when you dovetail the ends, it does give it a little bit more of a higher end look, I think, versus just cutting it straight across. Because as I've said before, it just looks like it's not finished to me if you just cut it straight across. It just looks, you know, too plain. And then just lay the one bow on top of that one. Oh, that's on top of your tails. And lay the other one on top of that one. And then just take a zip tie. And then make sure they're even, because if they're not even, then when you go to start spreading them out, they're going to not look right. Because one side's going to have one length, and then the other side's going to have another. And it's going to look off. And then I just clip that off. And make sure you have that up a little bit more. I actually had to untie that and go back and redo it because it was, when you set it on the wall, it was like trying to face downward. So make sure that you have it, you know, up a little bit. The ribbon, like when you lay it on there, put it up just a little bit. Make it face more towards that top bow. So that way, when you hang it on the wall, it's not going to be drooping down. And it might be too, because normally I zip tie my stuff to my deco mesh wreaths. And so they're in good and tight. They're not going to droop or anything. But because this is the pine one, it's a little bit different. It was a little bit different to work with. I liked working with it. It was very easy. And it went very quickly. But yeah, it was just definitely different. Because like I said, I'm used to doing the deco mesh. But this would be a good wreath, honestly, to do if you don't have a lot of time and you work and you get home in the evening. You could actually make time to do this. But like I said, you know, you might want to add more to it than what I did. But it's an easy project to do, and you could work on it a little bit and probably either have it done in one evening or 2 evenings. Depending on how much you got to do when you get home from work. I know me, I always had dinner to cook, throw a load of clothes in, make sure everything else was done. You know, it's a lot. So sometimes even getting an hour to sit down was a lot. But luckily, you can do this in stages. Just, you know, find you a place to set it and just say, okay, I'm just going to put these on today. And then the next day, you know, put your ornaments on. And then the next day, do your bow. I mean, there's no time limit on it because it's your project. So don't think you have to sit down and do it all, you know, right then and there. Sometimes, honestly, when I was working, it was hard to get everything done for Christmas. Even like wrapping presents. So I would say, okay, well, I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to throw in a load of clothes and then go ahead and start the dishwasher. Before I had a dishwasher, wash dishes. And then, you know, I'm going to go ahead and wrap a few of these presents. It doesn't mean you have to sit down on the floor and wrap every one of them, because if you've got a big family like me, it might take a little bit longer than an evening. And you don't want to sit there and take all your time doing it the whole evening. Because I like to watch a little bit of TV in the evenings. And I crochet while I'm watching TV. So, you know, you can always have a little project going. Now these are little picks that I got. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. I don't remember if it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I'm pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby, because that's where I do the majority of my shopping. But I think I got those when I was in Florida. So I kind of pulled those apart. It still wasn't setting right. So I end up taking those off, actually doing one in the middle and refreshing that bow. Because like I said, this was my first time doing one of these with the bows and everything. But I think, you know, once you got used to doing this, and you know, it's pretty easy, because anything you add, you're just going to twist it in with that pine. So that's how that looked, but then it was drooping a little, so I did change it up and put it in the middle. So here's how my end result looked, and I thought it needed just a little bit something else, so I did do those little peppermints that you get a bunch of them at Hobby Lobby. They weren't very much. I think they were like, I bought them on sale, so it may be $1 something. And remember, you were born to do great things. So stay strong in the Lord, never give up hope, and always take time to pray. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.